Straight out of Philly. Now.
Three, two, one.
Welcome back, you scumbags. Thank you for listening to Straight Out of Philly. I'm your host, Brent Snyder, coming from locations unknown, deep in the heart of South Philly. You ready for a good show? Let's get rockin', motherfuckers. Alright guys, before we start, I just wanted to talk a little about myself and where I'm coming from. I'm a disabled vet who loves this country. Being deployed 3 times, I've seen the worst this world has to offer. Sadr City, where Iraqis have to wade through their own fucking shit just to get to the market. But let's not forget about the IEDs, suicide bombers, and sniper Afghanistan, where farmers have to break their backs just to provide a small meal for their large family. But I've also seen the good too. My second deployment in Iraq, I had the utmost pleasure to witness Iraqi women voting for the very first time in their lives. Talk about bravery. These women walked miles to vote under the direct threat of bombs and ambushes by the militias. Talk about bravery here in America. I wish our citizens had as much bravery as those Iraqis and Afghanis. We've turned into a culture of a me-first society. We, and I mean it as a collective we, do not want to work for anything. Want to go to college? It needs to be free. Want to flip burgers? Pay me $20. I have over $100,000 in school debts. I want the government to pay it off for me. Where's the pride we used to have as a country? What the fuck happened? Please, someone tell me. I love America and everything it stands for. But we all know that terrible things happened in our past. We all know that. No one is denying that at all. We need and are learning about our past terrors. But there is no one alive that has been personally affected by what happened hundreds of years ago. We need to stop living in the past and playing the goddamn victim. We need to quit using the past for handouts in the now. Alright guys, one more thing before we move on, I promise. Everything does not need to be about fucking politics. Left versus right, liberal versus conservative, etc. We're all goddamn Americans, and we need to start acting like it. Our number one priority needs to be America first. Our elections should be about what's best for this country, not just because you don't like the other candidate. Boarding up windows and buildings during elections is complete and utter bullshit. What the fuck happened? Please, someone explain to me what the fuck happened in the past 20 years. Alright guys, break time. We'll be right back. Alright guys, welcome back from the break. Tropic Thunder. Everyone remembers that great and funny movie released way back in 2008. Jack Black, Robert Downey Jr., Ben Stiller, Tom Cruise, Matthew McConaughey, and Danny McBride. Plus others I probably forgot to mention. What a fucking star-studded movie. Each actor brought something different to the movie, but yet, with all these egos, everything flipped. Robert Downey Jr., a white actor, is being accused of portraying a black actor by using blackface throughout this movie. The whole movie is a satire, a parody, a fucking comedy. In no way does it mean to portray a black actor in any negative light, nor does it use blackface. Even fucking Ben Stiller came out recently and said people are way overreacting, and that he supported the role and Robert Downey Jr. and still does. And this coming from an actor who was told,
everybody knows you never go full retard.
In reference to a fictional character Tug Speedman played earlier in his career. This whole cancel culture is complete and utter bullshit. It's very simple. If you don't like or agree with something, don't fucking watch it. Stay away. Keep your damn money and shut your mouth. It's not that hard. Are you that self-centered or have such a frail ego that you have a fucking temper tantrum when you watch something you don't like? Just remember this next time you want to try to cancel. No one gives a shit about your opinions. So, on that note, we'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. Here's a quick question for you. Anyone been paying attention to the proxy war with Russia? Our great and esteemed Commander-in-Chief has got America into? I don't know. But between you and me, there's something really fishy going on between Ukraine and Biden. How can this administration justify sending over $116 billion to the besieged country? That number is roughly 4 times the annual budget for the entire Russian military. We keep sending money to them with absolutely zero oversight whatsoever. How the hell do we know where our money's going? Is it being funneled back to our politicians via some crypto scam, maybe? Or is it going straight into Zelensky's pocket? The American people want to know, and we have every right to know. Why send billions and billions to a country when we have Americans that are homeless, starving, hurting here? It just shows you that our current president gives zero fucks about the American people. Zelensky was recently quoted, "If the percentage of the Americans don't support Ukraine, they will lose NATO. They will lose support of their own country." To me, he sounds worried that his sugar daddy is about to cancel the credit card and he's scared. What's he going to do when our money dries up and he has to fight the Russians on his own? It's time we stop sending any more financial aid to this country. Corrupt politicians on both sides of the aisle need to be outed for what they are, corrupt, dirty politicians. I truly believe that Ukraine has some major shit on Biden and his son, and is using it as blackmail for continuing aid. But the other politicians, such as Mitch McConnell, I have no fucking clue why he continues to support Ukraine by helping finance this war. Alright guys, I just saw this on Twitter last night. This is the quote from Zelensky about what to expect if Ukraine loses. The US will have to send their sons and daughters exactly the same way as we are sending our sons and daughters to war. And they will have to fight because it's NATO that we're talking about, and they will be dying. Well, if it comes to that, here's who I think we should send first. First, the politicians that support this war. Second, their children. Third, all the people on Twitter that has the little Ukrainian flag. And finally, all those people in this country that has the Ukrainian flag hanging outside their house. Those guys should be the first boots on the ground in Ukraine if we ever send anybody. We either send troops in and kick the shit out of the Russians, or we need to stay the fuck out of it. We do not want or need another World War III. Alright, scumbags, time for a break. After a short break, we're going to talk about East Palestine, Ohio. Alright, let's get to it. I'm sure everyone by now has seen pictures, interviews, and videos from East Palestine, Ohio. If you haven't, maybe you should just crawl back under that fucking rock you live at. The train derailment's been all over the news, Reddit, and Twitter. There's even theories flying around the internet that the derailment was caused by sabotage, and its main goal was to wipe out the Amish community in eastern PA and western Ohio. No, we're not talking conspiracy theories now, but that was pretty far fucking out. A few days ago, our esteemed Commander-in-Chief visited Kiev reinforce our money laundering scheme. I mean, financial support for the war. So, let's ask the listeners this. Why would a president travel to an active war zone with minimal security, but yet won't step foot in East Palestine to show support for Americans that were affected by this disaster? That right there alone shows how little our president cares about the American people. But yet, we have apparently 82 million fucking sheep that think this president walks on water, no matter how bad he destroys this great country. Hopefully, we are able to change direction and save America in 2024. All right, scumbags, time for one more break. All right, you scumbags, that's it for today. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to follow on all social media platforms at StraightOut215. Next week, our show's nothing but sports, so you're not going to want to miss it. Thanks for listening. I'm Brent Snyder. I'm out.